And welcome back to We Bombastic View Podcast, Season 2, Episode number 8. We're back, and only a little bit later than we promised. We'll explain that in a bit, but first I'll introduce the other hosts. We got Lindsay.
Hello, I'm so excited to be back.
And unfortunately, due to some scheduling issues and a lot of homework being tacked on, Daniel was unable to make it. So we scoured the streets for another person to add on to this podcast. And all we could find was this guy. Introduce yourself.
Hi, my name's Daniel, and I'm your other main host. No, I'm kidding. My name's Mikkel, and you may remember me from the Christmas episode, but probably not. I don't know. Maybe you do. But yeah, I'm another friend of Brent and Lindsay's, and I don't really know what else to say, but I'm here.
I didn't ask for your autobiography.
Well, you asked me to introduce myself.
All right. So, as you may figure out over the course of this is not exactly a usual episode. We're missing Daniel, but we wanted to get something out to you. So we're not really sure how this is going to go. It's going to be a little shorter. It might be unedited because Daniel is our primary editor. And with bad internet, it might get really bad. But this is for you dedicated listeners out there.
We're here for a long time.
Yeah. And really quick, on a serious note, our hearts go out to those affected by the pandemic. Thanks to everyone who's making sacrifices of their time or their freedom in order to help make this all go by quicker. We're all in this together, and thank you, everyone who is working to help end it. And so, moving on with the podcast, we got an icebreaker. Have you guys ever heard of this thing called The Bachelor? It's a television show.
Sadly.
Hard yes. To avoid it.
All right. So I knew of it pretty much by concept, but my sister started watching it, and I was in the dining room, and the family room TV can be seen from the dining room, and so I ended up partly watching it. This show, so I'm not entirely sure what this show is, so I'm gonna confirm what my deducements are, but considering you guys don't know a lot about it.
I do know a lot about it.
Yeah, I feel like I know quite a bit.
So basically, some guy, I don't know how he's chosen, but is chosen, and then a X amount of girls, I don't know because she started watching halfway through, are then competing to date this guy, I guess. But how did this go about? Whose idea was it? Whose genius idea was it? I want to date 17 women, but that's looked down upon. What if all right, new idea. What if I broadcasted it across America and then made it a reality TV show, and then it'll get an okay? What?
So this is when I was dating my first girlfriend back in high school, she and her family loved to watch it. I honestly cannot stand the show. However, this is how I see it. I see it as an excuse for one guy, or actually there's the Bachelorette show also. So it's a guy or girl getting more than a handful of people just nearly throwing themselves at the Bachelor or Bachelorette. And all it is just staged drama for people to sit home and actually care about. I don't know why people enjoy drama so much, but they do.
My next question is, how do I get on this TV show? Is there an application process or something?
Well,
because
there's actually I think you do audition for it or something.
They usually pick the person, if I'm not mistaken, off of the opposite show. So they usually The Bachelor is one of the guys on The Bachelorette, and vice versa.
So you audition for the one with the more. It's if I wanted to be on it, I would have to try to be
suitor, and then if I do well enough as a suitor, then I get my own show.
If you're not one of many guys to be chosen by the female, then you might be the guy to choose from many females. So you want to be second or third on purpose.
So second place is actually the real winner, because
you get more options.
All right. pro strats. So if you ever go to on The Bachelor, or hey, if you work for The Bachelor and you want a celebrity guest on there, you can contact us at through our YouTube channel. Or
Wait. Is there a celebrity version of The Bachelor,
I can't
Bachelorette?
imagine that
I'd
there is.
highly doubt it.
That might be genius.
Yeah, that's a good selling point. I should contact the creators and be like, "Yo, celebrity version, you're welcome."
The
I only
celebrities that
charge
would be
$1 million
on
a
there,
day.
the celebrities that would be on there would be
Well,
ones
no, I'm the
that are
celebrity,
like,
and then there are other people competing for me.
oh, interesting.
Either way, just the idea in itself, it might be interesting because, like, honestly, I'm not, at least from my perspective, if I knew a celebrity was single, no part of me would ever be like, you know what, I'm going to try to slide in her DMs. No part of me would ever be like that. So that would work.
Right. Anyway, that's enough about The Bachelor. So today's segments, we got a personality quiz, we got a voicemail discussion. We'll talk about that later. And then we got a hypothetical, because what is a podcast without a hypothetical? And we got some recommendations for those of you staying at home. So, without further ado, the bombastic word is Batra. Hold on.
He warned us that it's hard to say.
Oh man, I had it, but I forgot. Okay, so it's spelled BATRACHOMYOMACHY, and I don't know if they'll be able to hear this. That's it. Batrachomyomachy. Would you guys like to give it a go?
Say it again for me.
Batrachomyomachy.
Batrapakahamanamanamanafiki.
Anemone.
The anemone. So it means to make a mountain out of a molehill.
Molehill.
I'm looking at
Or
the
a molehill.
pronunciation, and it looks like it's Batrachomyomachy.
You put the lime in the coconut, and yeah. Okay.
Shake it all up.
All right, and so that's the intro. Lindsay, what do you got to talk about? I hear you.
First, we
went on a
got.
trip.
Yeah, I think you went with me actually.
Oh, now that you mention it, I think I did too.
Yeah, so as promised, we thought we would share a little bit of our trip to Vegas, our long anticipated and well lived out trip to Vegas.
I
So
lost
quick.
all my money. I'm currently recording from a cardboard box on the street. McDonald's is right next to me. It's the only Wi-Fi I could find. They wouldn't let me inside though.
So we have we came up with 4 really good, I guess, stats of what happened.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's literally what it is. We went to 34 casinos, literally everyone on the strip, and like a few a little outside of the main area. Then we went.
Hold on. Now you may be thinking, you may not know anything about Las Vegas. But if you do know stuff about Las Vegas, you may be thinking, those are pretty far apart. That must have been annoying to drive from each to each.
Which brings up our next point. We walked 42.79 miles within, mind you, a 3-day trip, which is a lot. That is a crazy amount. Because we not only went on a hike, was it the first day, Brent?
Yep.
The first full day? And then we also walked from our area, like which is near the strip, all the way to the world famous Gold and Silver Pawn Shop, which was like a 5-6 mile hike in itself.
Yeah.
So
our quote unquote like nature hike was only 3 miles. Our Vegas strip hike was like 15 miles.
Our city trek.
Yeah, exactly.
So that honestly, what has it been, like nearly a month now? And honestly, I think I like either pulled something or gave myself a stress fracture because I still feel pain in one of my feet. No joke. Like I have this physical trainer at my job, and she's been looking at it, and she says that it's possible that there's a stress fracture.
Good
So
thing you signed a waiver.
yeah, for real. But also we went to the Hoover Dam, and that's kind of that area is where we actually did our hike, our nature hike. um, that we met this very, very nice sports announcer for the Los Angeles area. His name was Frank, and we'll keep it at that only because that's the only information he gave us about him aside from his job. But we did some research and we found him online. So
in a totally non-stalker way, though.
But yeah, we 100% met a celebrity and hung out with him for had a good conversation with him for about an hour or so. He was a really nice guy.
So if you're ever at a horse race in LA and it's being announced by Frank, he's a super nice dude.
Yeah.
So you know.
And then
I'll do this one.
Yeah.
I got threatened by a homeless man on the way to Gold and Silver Pawn. Like this homeless man threatened to throw me into traffic. But
What?
Yeah.
lucky to say, I karate chopped him in the throat, and he.
No, so the order of us, it was like kind of the sidewalk got a little narrow at that point. Also, since there was another person on it, it was Brent, and then our friend Christian, who you've met on the podcast, and then me. And so he was saying some things to Brent. The homeless man was saying some things to Brent, and then he kept trying to talk to him, and then threatened to push him into ongoing traffic. And then by the time that I was right next to him, he whispered something to me like, I heard what you want to do to that girl or whatever. Like, that's not really cool. I'm going to call the cops on you. I was like, that was the most creative, out of the blue thing you could have said. So that's totally out of left field. I don't know what you're trying to say. That's not even a good threat. But,
Moral of the story is make sure you have a strut walk designed for when you.
What?
Was my strut walk. My chest was approximately 4 inches extended from my spine. It's the key. And long arm strokes. I had a Superman t-shirt on. Wasn't gonna mess with me. Period.
In all honesty, though, I do not recommend walking to Gold and Silver Pawn Shop. I would, because you kind of take it into not so great of an area of Las Vegas. So, serious tip, take an Uber to Gold and Silver Pawn Shop next time you hit up Vegas.
Yeah. But overall, it's a good trip. Honestly, would recommend. There were some nice people in Vegas, such as Frank.
Yeah.
So
honestly, okay, Brent.
I made $90 there.
I was about
That's
to ask,
true.
how profitable were you guys?
For the most part, pretty profitable. We actually more trended towards trying to spend about $1 at every casino rather than sit down and actually gamble. So it was the fact that Brent came out with that much winnings, I thought was pretty impressive.
And that was literally what I did. Some casinos I spent more, but at every casino I spent at least $1 on slot machines.
Mm-hmm.
And
so Brent, would you say you liked the casino atmosphere as much as you thought you would, like the gambling and slots and stuff?
I mean, it's an adult Chuck E. Cheese, and it's a lot more fun if at Chuck E. Cheese you were winning money. And the only unfortunate thing is the in-between currency of tokens is also money, and so it's harder. When you lose, it's a lot more depressing. But I think it's ruined Dave and Buster's and Chuck E. Cheese, which
100%
didn't still go.
He's at work, and I was asking them, I was like, I've never gone to a casino before. How much do you think I should spend on gambling a day or whatever as we go? And they said, I don't know. But I'm also a huge saver. I don't really spend a lot of money. But they were all saying oh, do $50 or $100 a day. I was like, you know what? I'll do it. I'm paying for the experience. I'm not really for the entertainment. I'm not paying for hoping to get money back. So I'm willing to put this money in. And I had a hard time spending $1 at every casino. It just wasn't that entertaining. I didn't. Yeah, there was a few that I spent multiple dollars on nickel poker, but
yeah. I will. Nickel poker is pretty fun.
Yeah, that is a lot of fun, especially with a group of people.
Is nickel poker literally just poker, but with low
Virtual
funds.
poker, yeah.
It's on a
Virtual.
machine. It's
Oh,
like
gotcha,
that
gotcha.
machine is literally, I'm not even kidding, in every casino, every gas station, like everywhere in Las Vegas has this machine. It's,
Yeah.
it's kind of crazy.
Was
One
that
hundred
where you
percent
made?
though. Make sure you get the ones that let you do double or nothing. Definitely do
Yeah.
that.
It's a specific type. There are a bunch of different types. Anyway, but I could see spending a lot of money on roulette. I think roulette was the most fun.
Yeah.
Instant gratification.
We'll
where
see.
Because with a slot, it's like, oh man, I almost won, but that means nothing. But with roulette, you're like, man, I would have bet on black. Always bet on black kids. I could have won. But, all right.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Keep moving on.
Final
Move on.
thoughts. And you have one more thing for Vegas?
I mean, I liked it a lot more than I thought I would. I leaving the on our way back, Chris and I looked at each other like I don't think we'd ever go walk into a casino again, honestly. But honestly, after the month has passed, it's okay. I'm okay with going again and actually going to some around here if Brent convinces me to do so.
Which I totally will as soon as we
They
can.
open. Oh, speaking of which, we literally missed the strip closing down by exactly a week.
Yeah, it was very fortunate. Our trip happened the week before everything started to go down, so it was very fortunate. But all right, moving on. We got a personality quiz because we've never had Mikkel as a solo guest. So, Mikkel, what personality quiz are we taking?
I think we're gonna do.
Not from BuzzFeed.
I think we're gonna do. What type of furniture are you? I don't know. Maybe a chair.
Everyone
a table?
wants to know this.
Here's the chance to find out.
Yeah, let's take some guesses real quick. I feel like I'm a light fixture because I just bring light everywhere I go, assuming I stay in one room at all times.
I wasn't ready for this. I think I'm gonna be a wicker love seat.
Wicker love seat?
Don't ask me why, because I don't have an answer. It just seemed like the funny.
Not sure they'll go into that specific, but sure. Mikkel, any ideas?
I don't know. Maybe a table. I'd like to think myself as supportive.
Dependable.
Hopefully not a chair. I don't really want to be the guy that gets sat on all the time.
Taking advantage.
Though also dependable.
Yeah. All right. First question. Which of the below makes you most uncomfortable? Dark spaces, your height, people's troubles and messes slowing you down, a lot of responsibility, or insects? That's a wide range there.
Mm-hmm. I'm guessing your height's talking about just like heights in general.
Yeah, I'm going to assume that's what then.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense. I literally thought it meant like, I don't know how I feel about being 6 foot.
Self-conscious,
that's
about your
pretty.
height, but that doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, exactly. People's troubles and messes.
Well, it does say
slowing
makes you
down.
uncomfortable, and like some people are uncomfortable by how tall they are.
I'm gonna go with heights. So
I'm gonna go with messes slowing me down because it's like if I have to, a lot of times. It's
I agree.
I'm gonna say a lot of responsibility.
Complete the sentence. I like food because ... I've never spilled food. No food phases me. I can eat a lot of food. Everyone around me likes food. I just go along with whatever they eat. I'm not picky. I can sneak food everywhere. It tastes really good. I eat.
These questions and answers don't seem to go along very well.
This might be the only.
I never spill food. No food.
I definitely spill food.
I don't spill food, but I'm not sure that food doesn't faze me.
I don't know if the reason to like food is because a lot of it can be consumed. Like that's not necessarily why I value oxygen.
Yeah. All right. I was planning on it being. How are we doing? Oh, we're doing fine on time. All right. I'm gonna go with I can never spill food. Food doesn't faze me.
What?
What do you say? Food doesn't pay.
I can sneak food everywhere, I guess.
That's why you love food.
I don't know.
No, I know.
I like
We're-
food because it tastes really good. I eat everything. There are traces of all kinds of food on me.
What's
All right,
most?
Miguel, what's this one?
Yeah, go for it.
What's most important in a car for you? That it be comfortable with a lot of legroom, fancy and sleek, rugged and tough, which something that you can go camping in. Speed, move, fast, or space to transport lots of things like sports equipment.
Comfortable with a lot of leg room.
I would say runs, but if we're going
Runs at bare minimum.
I'd currently like a car that has a door panel on it for the driver's side because my car currently does not. So I'm gonna go with legroom. I think legroom's pretty nice. Mikkel, what you go with?
I'm somewhere between. I think I would do the transport lots of things, but that doesn't really matter to me if it's not comfortable with lots of legroom. So I'll do that one too.
Wow. All right. What's the best option to chill with on a Friday night? Camping in the wide outdoors with lots of space. Home alone with lots of beanbags and books and video games. Movie night, lots of popcorn and snacks. Social event, party, hanging out, can. That's all one, by the way. Sports, all caps.
This is so.
I'm gonna go with movie
quiz.
night. I feel like this might be translated or something.
Yeah,
Which
I
one
think
did
I
you
might have to
pick?
go movie night or sports. I don't think I'm gonna go movie night.
What, you don't want sports, all caps?
Actually, I'm gonna click them at the exact same time.
I'm gonna do social
Hit
event.
sports
How are you gonna do that?
because I got touchscreen, dude.
Oh.
All right, this is a lot of reading, but if you could design one secret room in your house, a private space all to yourself, unless visitors are expressively invited, what's important to have in it? 1. Walls to randomly decorate and scribble on, and lots of art materials, canvases, and space. 2. Lots of music instruments, recorders, mics, sound mixers, everything you need for a jam out session, which can be randomly converted into a recording studio if you feel like it. 3. The latest technology advanced gadgets from sleep pods to the smartest of the sleek and smart TVs. Trapdoors, hanging bridges, ladders, hammocks, secret levels, beanbags, everything that fits in the parentheses super fun pirate jungle race car etc. theme you have going on. Or 5, display cabinets or cases for my collections or secret bookshelves of limited edition ancient books.
100% my pirate jungle race car theme. It's funny, that's actually what my room theme is right now. Pirate jungle race car. Of course, I added
kind of is.
Space Cowboy as well.
I would have to do the tech one.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna have to
would
do.
go tech, but
Yeah, that one is pretty awesome. I think I'm gonna do music instruments.
lame.
What's to say we can't have all 3 of them? You know, what's to say I can't hammock with my guitar and then I just watch my smart TV by climbing through the ball?
Because society would
pit,
collapse.
You know?
All right, what's the next question? Miguel?
A supervillain comes up to you and tries to make a deal with you. Help him rob a bank, and you get half the profit. What's your response? No, I am too weak to rob a bank. No, and I'm reporting you to the police. You lame. Do what you like. I'm no part of this. They'll probably get you, though. Yeah, let's do it.
Like
Those are your
7
5
A's and
options.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'd do it for superpowers.
What?
That's
That's
not-
not part of this.
I know. I'm just saying. I don't know. I
Okay,
feel
what
like
kind
if
of
I-
super villain are we thinking? Are we thinking like Megamind?
That's what I was just wondering. Because if I get to be Minion, like with Will Ferrell as the supervillain, ooh, that could be.
That's
fun.
true.
I gotta say though, he's
What is-
pretty lame for robbing a bank instead of doing something.
I'm thinking you lame.
What
I
are
like
the
that response.
chances that the supervillain like kills me on the spot for turning him down?
Uh, that's a good counterpoint. Maybe should have considered that.
I think I don't know. You lame is like a piss him off option, but do what you like. I'm no part of this. Might at least give you some street cred, so I'll do that.
All right. You get to travel to another time zone. Which would you choose? Somewhere in the technologically advanced future, my childhood, medieval times, knights, kings, queens, prehistoric times, or Victorian time? I feel like definitely technological advanced future because like prehistoric times would be cool. Same for medieval times, but I'm a big fan of like internet. So
Exactly. That's what I'm
and
going.
I run an incredibly successful podcast, and so I gotta.
Want to
In
see
the
how it
future,
goes in the
it's going to
future.
blow up. Yeah.
Yeah.
All
Oh,
right.
dude.
Question number 8. Pick a pet. No pet, no pet. The fur gets stuck everywhere, and it's a chore to clean up after them. Fish, low maintenance and not too much to worry about. A calm dog to curl up with. Cat who won't disturb you too much. Independent. Why have one when you can own a zoo?
Doggo.
A dog or fish? I love fish.
I'm gonna go with
Dog.
a fish, assuming that fish could be like a shark.
A dog.
Fancy.
Anthony had a shark back in the day.
Did
Yeah,
Yep.
it was aquarium. in his
saw it.
house.
Huh.
I think
It
I
was
saw it.
like it was like 6 inches long at most.
Dang.
It was adorable.
Took a bit off my finger. Question number 9. Who has it?
Is that me?
It's Mikkel.
Someone tries to bully, coerce you. Sorry, wow. Someone tries to bully / coerce money out of you. What do you do? Literally punch him, whether verbally or physically. Try to play it cool, then go home and freak out. Give $1, shrug, then quietly go home, where your friends / parents / long distance relatives are ready to call the president to get the bully kicked out from the country. Dude, there are those moms though. All right, and 2 more. Try not to tell anyone and handle it yourself, for now at least. Try to reason and negotiate it out, though you're aware you'll probably have to resort to more aggressive means, which is okay because you did already give him a chance, right?
I'm gonna literally punch him with my verbal punch.
Oh, well, it just clicked one for me on accident. Oh, what is going on? No, I don't know what this question I don't know what I picked for that one or the next question. So you guys keep going.
You're lost in a forest. You have a tent and a torchlight and basically everything you need to survive a night out there. But it's dark, gloomy, and you can hear strange rustlings in the brush. What do? Cry? Panic briefly, but then get to work, setting up the tent, getting water, setting traps, and generally trying very hard to remember your last camping trip, which seems like centuries ago. You sometimes trip. It is scary. You try to, this is a separate option. You try to stay calm internally as you go about confusedly setting up the tent the way it looks stable. You do the same with almost everything else, and honestly, you're just trying your best. Next one. You somehow read all of the relevant obscure information before and you know what to do? Question mark. You you are the rare scout that sometimes finds yourself in your comfort land. You're more excited to try facing off with a bear or something than scared. What are you? Question. I'm so confused with that. Whatever. Voila, losers! You have your phone. You use your data because desperate times call for desperate measures. There is no signal. You are sad. Jeez, I'd love to know who made this quiz. This is amazing. All right. As an Eagle Scout myself, I'm going to, I guess, panic briefly, but then get to work.
Even though that's not the scout one.
Well, but I don't know what comfort land is and how I found it or what it means.
I think basically it's like, oh, scary woodsy situation. This is exactly what I want, and I'm.
Well, I
the guy
didn't
for
go with
this.
it. All right.
I think
Um,
panic. Honestly, I do like 4 of these.
Pick a random one. It's fine. Lindsay, are you on the 1 day one?
Yeah, I'm on the 1 day
All
one.
right, go ahead.
One day you awake and find that you have a new superpower. You don't really know its extent. What do? 1, haha, try it out, of course. Test it out, test it out. Set up a series of trials or tests. 2, call the friend, call the friend calmly while simultaneously Googling everything related while trying not to use a superpower for the time being. 3, continue to sleep for now. It's too early to be awake. 4, casually go to school as per normal, but subtly frustrate people by making things go wrong. Maintain secrecy. You have to keep up your image for the teachers, at least any. I'm really questioning their wording on some of these things. 5, on the surface, you live your life normally, hanging out with people and trying not to accidentally mess up your jeans with orange juice or something. Internally, parentheses, and you would never admit it, you're dying to know if you somehow gain the power to read minds as a bonus, parentheses, especially but not limited to people's impressions of you. Try it out, of course. 100%.
See, I'd like to fuse option A and B and do what they did in the Shazam movie, where you tell a friend and then you have a series of tests.
Brent, if you ever get a superpower, I 100% expect you to call me.
I'm not going to call you.
Who would you call? Who
Will
would you
Smith.
call?
Ghostbusters.
Who?
I'll try it out.
Yeah,
I'm
100%.
definitely trying it out on the spot.
All right.
Which kind of dream can you relate with the most? There's a plot in the dream, sure, but all that stays and is burned into your head is the humiliation from an event in the dream. Second, it's not a full-out nightmare, but it doesn't have you screaming, but it's a horror fest, creepy, and it gives you the same feeling you get right before you run away from something terrifying in real life. 3, a dream that makes you feel so good and happy you wish it happened in real life, and you try very hard to remember it and the feeling. 4, you know it can't happen in real life because of all the slightly unrealistic, fantasy-esque elements in it, but you kind of wish it could. Or 5, action and adventure more wild than the movies.
Definitely you can't, or you know it can't happen in real life because all the slightly unrealistic fantasy-esque elements, but you wish it could.
Yeah, same.
So.
Also, really quick side tangent. I had a dream like 2 nights ago that I had a dream, and then in my subsequent dream immediately after, I remembered that previous dream, and I was like, oh man, I'm missing a few details though. I pull out my phone in that dream, and I have an app that allows me to re-watch my dream, and I literally I'm watching my dream, my previous dream, in that current dream.
Oh, that's
It was
dope.
the craziest thing ever. I could like fast forward and stuff, and then I woke up for real, and I was like, crap, I only vaguely remember that dream. I need to check my phone and rewatch that one. But then I couldn't.
That's awesome.
It's very
I love when you like fall back asleep and continue the dream that you had.
You want to continue?
That's
Yeah.
very rare for me to be able to do that. Because normally I get... Anyway, which sound is most annoying? Bouncing basketballs from the floor above. Babies crying continuously in the airplane at 3 a.m. Clattering of utensils, fingers, pens, or on the table when you're trying to focus. Scraping sounds. Forks on plates and nails and chalkboards. My own voice. Oof. If you're in an airplane at 3 a.m. and there are babies crying, there's literally nothing worse in the universe.
Scraping sounds.
Scraping sounds.
No way. Oh my, dude.
I'm really good at zoning things out. We've talked about this on a previous episode. I'm fantastic at it.
All right, last question, I think.
No, this is 14 out of 15. But okay. Fire in the house. These items are in your room. You can grab one thing before you escape. What is it? Phone/computer. Your shoes. Money stash. Favorite pillow /jacket/picture/ anything of sentimental value. Why grab, just run?
I mean, I don't really have a money stash in my house. If
Nor
that
do
was-
I.
If that was what I had instead of a
should
bank, I
definitely
would
say
go for the
no
money.
For security purposes. Don't have that. I'll go with sentimental. Actually, money's.
But the
So.
I'm going with
I
phone
think-
slash computer.
phone
Well-
slash computer, because all of the sentimental photos I have are probably on my phone.
Honestly,
Back
though,
them up to
Google
Google
literally-
Photos.
All I have to do is go on someone else's computer, type my Google account, and then I have my phone right there.
That's what I'm thinking.
Oh.
Like, there are no files on my computer that aren't on Google. So if Google was burning down, we'd have a problem.
I guess I'll go on phone computer. That's the least inconvenient. Okay, last question. If you could set up a shop, what would you sell? Books, planners, or nice stationery? Vintage trinkets, collectibles, or deco, decorations, I suppose. Comics, toys, or fandom merch. Clothes, shoes, or accessories. Or sports equipments, camping gears, or gadgets.
See, I would want to sell what I would enjoy being around most during the day. So honestly, sports equipment, because like if you ever go into like a Dick's Sporting Goods, like I can only imagine the fun that the workers have, because I have fun just like because they have like golfing greens set up and stuff.
Yeah.
So
I don't think
I
there's
mean-
enough to not be bored of after 20 minutes of your first two shifts working at Dick's.
okay,
But it's
got me.
also, I think I'm going sports equipment.
I'm going comics, toys. I'm going to read and play games.
Oh my gosh.
I'm
my
a little sad.
I'm a little sad too.
Well, how are you sad? You want me to
Alright.
just stare at people checking out footballs and...
No, we're talking
No,
about
already our answers.
Oh, gotcha.
I got
No!
sometimes people trip
I'm a chair!
to your table. Sorry, what?
I said I'm a chair. I'm sat on.
Yeah. So you're quite versatile, being able to carry books, cats, humans, junk, newspapers, and almost everything you can think of. Sometimes overlooked, but then you remember it's a chair person, not a door person. So all's good. That's pretty much the gist of it. What are you,
Yeah.
Lindsay?
I'm carpet.
What? That's not
I didn't think
furniture.
there was anything worth chair.
Yeah, no kidding. Chair
It's
chair
hard
gang,
getting
Brent.
caught up in things sometimes, such as food bits, paper bits, and you don't even know what. Also, people step on you. Oh my gosh.
Wow. Oof. We've done pretty well for quizzes in general, but
Yeah.
didn't think I was a chair.
I didn't think I was gonna be carpet.
I was hoping for at least a light fixture. Didn't have to be.
At least, like, it looks like a
That-
nice chair, I guess.
It's a solidly made chair.
Wait, did you guys get pictures?
Yeah, it's a Pinterest
there's-
I
picture.
didn't even get a picture for carpet.
There's a Pinterest picture at the bottom of a chair.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Well, personality quiz. Now you know. We'll be making the subsequent podcast 2 chairs and a carpet. Look for it coming soon to you on all podcasting sources. All right. So next segment. How are we doing on time? This might not be a shorter episode. So
It might be an extra long one.
You're staying at home. You have nothing better to do. Just keep listening to us. All right. So, originally, when I called Mikkel to when we were setting up this meeting, and I got his voicemail, and I was like, what's
What?
my voicemail?
Oh.
And Lindsay called me, and I hadn't set one up. And so on the podcast, we're gonna record my voicemail message. And so, what are your guys' opinions on what voicemail greetings should be?
Like, are you talking about serious, or are you talking about
No,
like?
yeah, it's just like what do
comical?
you think about those people who are like, hello?
Oh, I hate
okay."
Wills.
No.
I hate Wills so much.
Yeah. My brother
but there are
and
people who don't
stepsister
even
have
do it on
both done
purpose.
that.
But like some people will just be like, you have blood, or just like, I know someone who just like says their name and then pauses, and it's like, it totally baits you into it.
So I
So-
worked. Can you guys hear me out of curiosity?
Yeah.
Okay. I just
Good.
got a thing on my computer saying you're not speaking. I'm like, yes, I am. Anyways, um, I worked at my admissions before, the apocalypse. I worked at my admissions building at school, and I called a lot of people. And seriously, 50% of people's voicemails are hello, hello, and it's just like the hello is always by the first hello or whatever it is they're saying. If they're pretending they're talking, you can literally tell just by the sound of their voice that it's not real. I don't know. It's just so dumb.
You have a seventh sense.
It's like,
As
wow, you're so creative.
Original content.
See, also, I think a big criteria for voicemail I hate it when people have the generic one when I'm about to leave a message, because you always think, did I call the right number? And so it's very nice to hear confirmation if the person says their name to that like you called the right person.
Yeah, that's
So.
at least in this point of our lives too. I think the semi like casually professional maybe voicemail is good. Leave your name, phone number, then you say your
so
name.
I had an idea, and I think I'm gonna go with it. I'll record it. Hopefully, I can do this while that I know that both things are recording. But here's my idea. Let me hold on.
Are you gonna record it and tell us your idea at the same time?
I'm gonna record it, and we'll do it live.
Okay, you want to hear mine really quick? I think you guys heard it, but it's like I put.
You say your last name, so don't play it.
Yeah, you tried and failed at reaching Andrew. Leave a message so I will have better luck. What?
Right.
No, he did not.
Right. I'm just gonna do mine, right? You almost reached Brent. Nice try. Okay, it was better before. I forgot what I.
It sounded really fake.
What did I have it before?
See, I just upgraded it. That's so you're thinking it needs to be better.
It was something like Oh, that was it. It was like congratulations. You almost reached me, Brent. Try again later.
Your tone change. Congratulations. You almost reached me, Brent.
All right, hold on. Shut up. Congratulations. You almost reached me, Brent. Try again later. All right, I think that's it.
I like it. That's great.
Almost reached me, Brent. Try again later. All right, that's it. I might change that later, but.
Do you add in your last name or something?
No, just because of how awkward it is, how I pause. And
I didn't think it sounded bad, but okay.
I don't know. I like it. It's relatively original, so we take that. There's a YouTube video I saw once that was on trying to record voicemails. It's pretty funny. It's by Studio C on YouTube. You should check it out. I think it's like voicemail greeting or something. Just look up voicemail greeting Studio C. Funny video. Anyway, bombastic quote. Mikkel, go.
All right. Home is where the heart is, which unfortunately means I have to be there too. Yeah. You just want me to do the next part? Yeah. Hypothetical? I don't know how we roll. Okay, cool.
Hypothetical.
So, hypothetically speaking. There's been a nuke. There's a lot of radiation. There's nuclear energy anywhere. And only certain people who have evolved, let's say type O bloods, can survive in this radiation, which seems to not permeate through buildings. Just, it's outside. It's been everywhere outside. And so these people have to become delivery drivers, and they are the only ones who are physically capable of leaving their homes ever. So how does society function with this, which only a few people being able to leave essentially the place that they were at when the radiation got exposed?
Okay, so I like the radiation thing. Unfortunately, the way you described it takes away a couple of my talking points. Also, quick fact, me and Lindsay looked this up the other day because it was for a separate thing. But O type, I think, is either O positive or O negative is like 30% of the population. So
yeah, something crazy like that.
It's actually like a decent amount.
So B types, which Brent and I learned is both B types combined is
positive and negative.
Yeah, is exactly 10% from our source that we looked at.
I think
Yeah.
that 30% of the population is pretty good for this hypothetical.
Well, no, because originally when we were talking about this, came from the movie 30 Minutes or Less, relatively funny movie. You can check it out. Um, but so and basically the idea was so originally I was going to go with Domino's, and for whatever reason, like Domino's delivery drivers are literally the only people in the entire world who are allowed to leave their house. So all business has to be conducted, like physical business has to be conducted through them. And so like the application to be a delivery driver would be super intense. But so we'll just we can dance between both ideas. So how is this going to affect? So we are on, as per usual, we are on the United States board of now only delivery drivers from Domino's are allowed to leave their house. So how are we going to function as a society? Board, official, made by the government. Of course, we're doing this over a Zoom call because we can't leave our homes, or through delivery driver carriers. So how are we gonna make society function? What are some problems we foresee with literally only a very select few people being able to go about doing things?
I think any kind of networking or like trying to like progress your career path is going to be instantly more difficult because yes, maybe you can find a way to do your position at home, but it'd be hard to like go above and beyond that and show people that you're capable of doing other things too.
I kind of like doing this hypothetical though without the internet, because the internet kind of takes away from it almost.
I was gonna say, I'm sorry for you guys to hear this, but I think that of any hypothetical, this just solidifies the death of Blockbuster. There's no way you're bringing it back. No one's gonna wait for their movie to be delivered.
The internet is gone. The internet's gone too.
But that's a whole other hypothetical. We already did that hypothetical.
Well, no, but the nuke's gone.
So only Fred Flintstone can deliver to the town of Bedrock.
Daniel's basement got nuked, and so all the internet's gone. And so now only select people known as the Domino's delivery drivers have adapted to the radiation and are able to move between. So first things first, finding mates. So like literally the delivery drivers are gonna have to play matchmaker, and they're gonna have to be like, so how many eligible like children do you have that need to find a mate? And so they'll be the ones that have to like find that, they'll have to be like their own eHarmony. Like you get married through your Domino's delivery driver.
Does the delivery driver like deliver someone to another house?
They can under specific circumstances, but keep in mind how many delivery drivers are in your town. Probably like 10, 20 for however many people are in your town.
Are we counting Instacart?
What? What's Instacart?
Instacart is the only job anyone has anymore. It's delivering groceries.
Oh, no, it's just Domino's. So there's like 10 to 20 people per Domino's sector, however spread out those are across the U.S. So one thing that I'm thinking of is networking of relationships. It's going to have to be done via Domino's drivers.
Are they the post office, essentially? Is that what you're saying?
They're going to have to be.
They're the only way, like... you could set up a pneumatic tube between your house and the next person's, but they're the ones who have to build it because you can't leave outside. We're gonna have to get like Wall-E style drones, or robots. I'm thinking, to help them out. But if like a Wall-E falls down and can't pick itself back up, they gotta help it out.
They gotta be upgraded to an Evie or Eve, whatever her name is.
I'm thinking the president, he gets his own personal Domino's delivery man. At least, maybe 2. The president can have 3 Domino's.
So like we're doing transport, protected transport is like very, very rare.
What do you mean?
Like what you're saying is like a person can be transported, but it's just
It's
not.
basically like, oh, you now have a husband, but you guys live in different abodes and we're never allowed to leave. So let me transport your husband to you. That's like the situation. It's like once in a lifetime type deal.
Okay, okay. I mean, obviously, so is this nuke affecting uh natural foods
What do you mean?
like crops? Is delivery drivers also going to be farmers?
Uh, yeah, I guess they would. Crap. I hope they get paid well. But honestly, like you get to leave your house, so I guess
Yeah.
that's payoff. But yeah, they'd literally have to go to. So it's like, oh, there are no delivery drivers today because they're all collecting the corn.
Okay, okay. Even beyond that though, like without talking about like um what's the word, dominant and recessive, not thinking about that at all with the blood types and stuff, is like the would like say delivery drivers, if two delivery drivers had a delivery baby, would would that baby
Someone clip that.
that has so many depths to it. I love it. But
No,
with
because so Domino's has a specific formula that they inject their delivery drivers with, but they only have a limited amount. So it's like you can become a delivery driver, but like they don't accept just anyone.
okay,
Yeah, I was gonna say I think you're assuming that Domino's would keep relatively a similar amount of delivery drivers as they're like currently having, and I just don't see that happening.
Well, no,
Like
that's,
if
they only have so
Amazon
much
was
serum.
told right now that they now owned Google, Apple, and every Taco Bell and Domino's in the world, I don't think they'd stick with the same amount of delivery drivers.
That's a good point. People who since it like the nuke instantly happened, people who are stuck at the mall, like I think that I'm sorry, but if you're at the mall right now, keep an eye out for nukes because
I'm never walking out
you,
again,
you might get stuck.
and not just because I have to, but
Yeah, it's now a matter of safety. You don't want to be stuck forever because your only other option is to become a delivery driver, and we all know how competitive the delivery driver market is. Like you have to be the top 1% to be a delivery driver.
how do you get your license?
If you're a delivery driver, you instantly get a. There's no need for license.
yeah, the population of people on
Maybe
the street has
maybe they have some
decreased
sort of like simulator. Because I mean, if this is as high of a ranking position as you're saying it is, like so, exclusive of a position, then I
Yeah,
don't know. You'd think they would
know,
have
like,
some way to eliminate people.
Well, no, they do. They bring Mario Kart to each household, and
Naturally.
if the applicant can beat specifically the
Rainbow
the Wii one where
Road.
you, yeah, Rainbow Road. If you can beat their like their delivery driver in Rainbow Road using the Wii remote with the specifically with the steering wheel attachment, then you get moved on.
Ah,
It's a very elite
Naturally.
process. But production's definitely going to go down. Keeping people alive is going to be hard because like just basic necessities is it would take probably them running just about around the clock to like get even just food to these people. Also, what if your town was too small to have a Domino? They all just died in their homes
Yeah.
when they ran out of food. Unfortunately.
hopefully they were prepared for this.
Again,
I think Domino's would expand as a business.
No, there's only so much Domino's. So the serum is using their pizza sauce.
Oh no!
With their cheese.
How convenient!
And they only had so much of it.
Wow.
So.
One thing though, it's like if you had like children inside your home, you couldn't leave, you know? There would
Yes,
be
that is the hypothetical.
there would okay, well, I'm just saying something we haven't mentioned. Jeez
Okay, keep going,
Louise.
keep going.
I'm saying like okay, 100 years down the line, my wife and the 5 children that I've had while in here have now all had 7 more children, and we're all crammed inside this little ranch house.
Yes, but some
You
of your
know?
children were carted off to other houses.
Yes. No, they were all males.
Oh.
And so we just got more. So we got their wives too.
Yeah, that is a good point. 100 years down the line. First off, just the fact that your kid has known nothing but living in the house their
Yeah.
entire life, and not only that, their kids had never known anything but.
It's
living in
really
that
just
house.
like legend at this point.
Yeah.
Like back
And-
in
well,
my
and
day.
Do you like? There would be like trading cards of the delivery drivers,
Yeah.
because they beat Mythic in proportion. It's like, oh, you know, the people who got the secret pizza sauce formula who can still go outside.
Do you think
I wanna be
prices would be like
Dude, that's-
outrageous?
This could be a book idea. Yeah. What do you mean?
Do you think prices would be like taken so far advantage of that you realistically just like everyone would live in realistic poverty? Or do you think it would just be something that would be realistic to acquire? Like if I wanted to get married, would that be the equivalent of getting married today? Or would that be like, oh, you have to be in one of the richest families to be able to even afford that in the first
You just
place?
ignited so many ideas in my head, and I don't know which one to explore. Well, first idea I had was you can't eat. Like, what kind of jobs can you have?
Yeah.
And how are you
Especially
making
without
money? And-
internet.
Well, and then also like in the tax collectors of old days, like what happens if your delivery driver only connection to the outside world is like, listen, it's now 2 children per box of food, and he's like, well, I only have the one, but I still
Oh,
need
yeah.
the box of food.
They would definitely, the government would have to start like protecting everything, you know, making rules for how many people, how much food.
Mm-hmm.
We should definitely write this book.
The dystopian future, how dominoes rule the world. Copyright right now.
And brought back Blockbuster simultaneously.
Yeah. Oh, Blockbuster. How are we getting Blockbuster back?
Well, I guess
the
if there's no
internet's gone.
internet, then
Yeah. So, but delivery
Blockbuster
drivers
delivers, which is really
Yeah.
just old Netflix, but
But
sorry,
OG Netflix.
Blockbuster.
it's Blockbuster.
But this happened in 2002, so we're good.
Perfect.
Alternate
Exact-
timeline.
Does Netflix still do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, they
think
technically do.
I think you can pay extra to have them deliver.
Yeah, I'm
That's-
pretty sure it's basically just a library at that point. Like you can get content off DVD that you can't get on their streaming service.
Yeah. It's some specific movies. But yeah. Does anyone have any other final thoughts?
I do
Final
not.
ideas? Excuse me. You good, Mikkel?
Yeah, I think that's about it. Without
All right.
unlocking more tangents.
Yep. And so, in conclusion, the sun will swap directions and will begin to rise in
From the west. Oh, I shouldn't have
and
said
set
it.
in the east.
Swap directions and rise in the east.
All right, good stuff. Lindsay, I believe you have an ad break for us.
I do. This one is brought to you by Foot Gloves. Ever in need of protection for your feet? With Foot Gloves, you can protect them from anything that could come their way. This is the new competition of socks and shoes that they will never see coming. Foot Gloves.
Thank you, Foot Gloves, for sponsoring this episode. I can't tell you the amount of times my feet got jealous by my gloves that my hands wore. This solves all those problems. So, thank you again, Foot Gloves.
I just got annoyed with my socks not having holes for each individual toe. But that's just not a problem anymore.
And they have those toe socks, but the nice thing about foot gloves is they're full size, like as if your toes were fingers. They're full size. And so they don't feel, your toes don't feel constricted, unlike those toe socks, which are just weird, honestly. I wasn't paid by foot gloves to say that, but that's my own opinion.
Not a sponsor.
All right. Yeah. All right. So we're coming to a close. But before we do, every other person is doing this on the internet. So we thought we'd throw our hat in the ring. We'll give you some recommendations of stuff to do while you're at home. So we'll start out with a movie recommendation, ideally one that's on a streaming service. So mine, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. That one's on Hulu, or it might be Amazon Prime. It's one of the two. But super good movie if you're into fantasy stuff. They've got werewolves, vampires. They've got specifically characters from the book Dracula, from King Solomon's Mine, Picture of Dorian Gray. They've got the Invisible Man, I think, is in there.
Yeah.
The Invisible Man's in Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Like those characters from the books are in it. Super good movie. Highly recommend.
This is this movie based off the comic book? Because I've never heard of the movie,
Quite
but
possibly.
the comic book I think is the same
Sean
guy
Connery.
that did Watchmen, Alan Moore.
Yeah.
So that's
sure,
pretty
why
interesting.
not? I don't know. I've only seen the movie, but good movie.
All right. My suggestion for the movie is a new comedy on Netflix called Coffee and Kareem, and I can only half-heartedly recommend this because I'm actually going to watch this as soon as we're done recording. But I've been recommended by many people saying that they were literally crying laughing. But it has Ed Helms as the main character, who's from The Office and The Hangover. So if you like him, try this out. But apparently, it's about this guy who is dating this lady who has this kid, and he's the main character is a cop, and the cop or this kid is upset that he is dating his mom, so he gets like this thug to pretty much assassinate him, and but then they end up teaming up because the assassins got out of control or whatever. So it's this little kid and this like deadbeat officer that are just trying to take down a whole like mafia, pretty much, apparently. Interesting.
For my movie recommendation, I saw it in theaters right when it came out, but now it's already on Disney Plus and digital services, and that's Onward. It's the newest Pixar movie. It is my favorite Pixar movie in a long time, and I would just recommend it. I've heard, I mean, obviously it's a Pixar movie, so I haven't heard anyone say it's bad, but there's been different opinions as far as if it's amazing or not. But I really enjoyed it, especially as someone who likes kind of fantasy stuff. It played on a lot of that, and it was just really well done. And once you get over the fact that Chris Pratt and Tom Holland are the main characters, and you start actually picturing the main characters instead of those two, it's a really good movie.
Yeah, I was. Those are the voice actors would mess me up. But all right, on the television shows, these are both going to be on Hulu. An anime that I watched a little bit ago, super good, highly recommend, called My Hero Academia. Super awesome anime. It's about superheroes and like a group of high schoolers who go to superhero high school. Really good, highly recommend. And then also a TV show called Superstore. It's like The Office, but instead of in an office, the setting is Walmart. And if you've ever worked a retail job, like the first and second season specifically, I was like dying at some point. It is hilarious.
How many seasons are out of Superstore? Because that's a current show, right?
Yeah, it's still going on. I think they're on season 5, and I've been watching it. Starting like season 4, it kind of goes. They run out of material more or less, but it's still pretty funny. So, but first season, second season, super funny. Highly recommend.
Would you say it's more relatable since more people have probably worked in
exactly,
stores than
because like The
offices?
Office, I found funny, but it's like I've never worked in an office as a kid. But like I've worked a retail job, and I didn't work at a big box store like Walmart. They call it Cloud9. But it's still just hilarious. Highly recommend. If you've ever worked retail, you'll love it.
My TV show recommendation is Money Heist. The fourth part or series or season just came out. 100% would recommend. It's so intense, a lot of action, like a tiny little bit of drama, but not enough to bore me. But it's definitely. Ask your parents if you can watch it before you just go ahead and watch it, kids. But if you're an adult, 100% would recommend. You get really attached to the characters, and you don't expect what they throw next at you after every episode.
And mine is The Good Place. I chose it because it just recently ended. But if you're a fan of anything Mike Schur has created or written for, which would be The Office, The Good Place, Parks and Rec, or I just said The Good Place, The Office, Parks and Rec, um, oh, and Brooklyn Nine-Nine, those three. The Good Place is very good. It's not like the same cringe humor, but it's very well done. It's a good plot. Um, the concept of it is that this person wakes up in the good place, which is a religiously ambiguous heaven, but she basically finds out that she's been mistaken as someone else who actually deserves to be in the good place, and she's a relatively horrible person who should have been in the bad place. And very interesting show, very sweet, very good plot, very funny. It's not phenomenal, but it's really good, and I think you'd enjoy it. It's on Netflix, and I don't know if they have the whole show on Hulu or just certain episodes, but it should be on Netflix and Hulu.
All right, and then also some books. Specifically, my recommendation is the original Dracula by Bram Stoker. I'm pretty sure that it's open to the public because it was written like over 100 years ago or whatever. So and I'm pretty sure you can just find it online. But it's a very interesting book, and it's very interesting to read the original legend of Dracula and vampires. So, would recommend that one for my book recommendation.
I got two book recommendations. Both, well, one of them, the first one is Crime and Punishment, and Brent wanted a book that was open source, accessible to everyone. And so if you haven't read it, it's very good. It is old. I mean, it's kind of like reading Charles Dickens, but it's one of those that if you can get past the slowness and old style, it's very good. And for a more recent read, if you can somehow get it delivered to your house, read American Gods. I mean, it's from 2001. It's basically any list of like top fantasy novels. It's always one of the top ones, specifically as a top what they would say like modern fantasy novel, as in present time, present Earth novel. And I'm reading it right now, so I can't totally give a good synopsis, but the way it was pitched to me is any god that anyone has ever imagined in America is basically a real person on like in the US. So for instance, there's this bar scene with essentially every American iteration of Jesus. You have like the Native American Jesus, the Jew Jesus, the modern Jesus, and Buddha, Hindu. Shout out to all your favorite American gods. They're in there, and they're real people. So, if that's your thing,
Solid. And then just some general ideas for stuff to do in. You could break a world record, such as largest amount of stairs climbed in a single step while carrying an egg between your mustache. Boom.
are you allowed to go downstairs? Does that count?
The record is specifically for going upstairs with an egg between your mustache, whatever that means.
I think I have a relatively short house, if that's the case.
I have two that I put on here. One was at-home workouts. Definitely try to do some. It could be your chance to get that six-pack you always wanted, because ab workouts, core workouts are really easy to do with little to no equipment. and then also bake or cook something. Make some cookies, make some brownies, share some.
So here's the thing, though. It's like, in regards to working out, it's like part of me doesn't really care to work out because the only people I'm seeing is my family. So it's like, who cares?
But imagine
It's an
coming out.
investment, though.
Imagine coming out in 2 months when you're allowed to, and everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, Brent! Wow, when did you
Everyone
grow
already
those
says that.
biceps?"
So
Yeah.
yeah. All right. Wrap us up, Lindsay.
Right. Hit us up on those social medias. Like, comment, subscribe, follow, do all of it. Keep listening and keep telling people about us. I know Mikkel has failed to tell his family about it, but
What?
uh,
I have too told my family to listen to it.
you literally
They
just
just
told
haven't
your
opened it.
sister
No.
that you literally just told your sister that you're gonna share a link to the podcast with her, and we asked
this
you if you told her
episode-
about it,
No,
and
no,
you said no.
I have told my
You said
family
no.
ever since the Christmas episode.
Okay, so it's a very
we'll
selfish
accept it for
networking that
now.
he's doing. But
Yes.
Brent kind of hinted at it at the beginning. We're not really sure what future episodes are going to be looking like
In the immediate
Our-
future,
in
specifically.
the immediate future. Yes, but Brent and I have a goal of trying to at least get something out to you guys every week. We're hoping that we can kind of pick up some editing. As Brent said earlier, it might be unedited because neither of us have really dabbled too much in audio editing. Daniel is the go-to guy for that, but he has his hands tied. So we're gonna try to he's gonna try to
We can't
protect.
leave our houses to set him free. So unfortunately, he's just trapped. So
Yes. So we are yeah, exactly. So we're gonna try our best, and even if it's just a 20-minute conversation between Brent and I, that might be what we post next week, or it might be a new guest, which would be awesome. But it's also hard since we have very limited amount of mics, and when we can't transport said mic to share with a new guest, it makes it a little difficult. So if you guys want to help us out, share some ideas that we could do in quarantine to make it easier for us to make you guys some good content. Shout us out some good information. You guys have any final thoughts?
I do. So, yeah. So as you may have determined, this episode was kind of not exactly your our usual style. We didn't do Bombasia because without Dan, wouldn't feel right. So, hopefully he should be able to join us. But unfortunately, all our college stuff got moved online, and so as I'm sure this episode will be unedited, as will probably the future episodes, just because the amount of workload. Hopefully, my internet should get better, so that might solve a couple issues. But yeah, we'll just see, because it's like I've got 18 credit hours, and so I can make time to record an episode, but like Daniel himself spends hours on editing of his time on this, and unfortunately, the amount of time it would take to learn that on top of the hours it would take to edit is just not exactly feasible for any of us, despite the fact that we don't even have the equipment in the first place, or the um, software. But so, like Lindsay said, we're gonna get something out to you. What that'll be may evolve, might change. Hopefully, we can get Daniel in here soon. But unfortunately, this week it couldn't work out. But we just wanted to make sure we're still committed to this. We're still working on it. We're gonna get something out to you. But yeah, thank you all for who's still listening. We really appreciate it. Sorry about the long break, but thanks for sticking it out, and hope we entertained you at least a little bit.
Yep.
Mikkel,
Do you
what
think
you got?
do you think Mikkel deserves a final thought? Did he earn it?
Yeah, we'll give Mikkel a final thought. Go ahead.
My final thought is thank you for giving me this final thought.
And shout out to Mom.
Shout out to
Shout out to-
Mom.
Yeah.
And Will Smith. I was thinking we might actually have a chance to get Will Smith on the podcast, because he's stuck at home doing nothing else.
That would be so hype.
If you know Will Smith, now more than ever, we need your help.
We need you
We
now.
ask the people.
Yeah, we need to start a movement. Hashtag Will Smith come to the We Bombastic Few podcast because you're stuck at home and you have nothing better to do, and we would really appreciate it. And it would be really nice if you did, because that would really make our day and really our lives. And we might end the podcast because that was our original podcast goal. But I'm gonna stop talking now because hashtag is at least. What's the limit on hashtag characters? Now that I'm thinking about it, I probably shouldn't still be in the hashtag asking this question. I should just look it up.
I'll probably just copy and paste it.
So just tag that hashtag, tweet at someone, maybe the president. I don't know. Surely someone knows Will Smith.
I'm waiting for that committed fan to show up. We're gonna search this hashtag every day.
I'll post it on on the networks.
I'm gonna have to go back and listen to it and actually find that hashtag. But we should.
Watch it be way too long, and we have to. I'm sure there is. We're probably gonna have to like break it up into multiple.
It's probably above the actual character count on my Twitter.
Well, you said hashtag a few times, so we can literally break the hashtag points at that mark.
That's not a bad idea. But yeah, so this episode, not a short one, but we got you the content. So with that, that's gonna wrap it up. You all have a bombastic week and stay safe out there. See you next time.
Not a fan that you still